Hello. So today's topic is self-love, right? What do you want to think about what do you think about when you hear these words, self-love? What goes through your mind when you hear these words? Have you thought about this before? Have you ever thought about this before today? Okay. So I want to encourage you to start thinking about this, especially if you hadn't considered self-love before today, and to start intentionally defining what it means for you, especially in regards to the language that we use inside our brain about ourselves. And I want to encourage you to always think, to always ask, what am I thinking? What is the dialogue with myself in my mind? Okay. So we can all agree that we take care of our body, we feed it, we give it rest, we bathe it, we clothe it, right? We can agree that this is part of self-love. But what about another aspect, which has to do with how we talk to ourselves in our brain, our thoughts, our internal dialogue in our brain? How we speak to ourselves, how we talk to ourselves is very important, especially when we think we're not living up to our own expectations. I'm going to say that again. When we think we're not living up to our own expectations. This brings me to, if we think we're not making progress, or maybe are facing a task that seems difficult, that requires more from us, and we maybe start having doubts or start being hard on ourselves for not trying harder, not showing the progress that we expected at the beginning. And again, mental language is very important. So I want to quote Margaret Thatcher, who said, "What we think about, we become." Okay. And also Henry Ford, I quote, "Whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, you're right." What does this mean? That what we think about, what we think is very powerful. That there is power in our thinking, right? And so what do you want to think? And again, I want you to ask yourself, what do I want to think? So when you're approaching that difficult task and it feels heavy, do you want to allow the thoughts, for example, this is too hard? Or maybe you start to consider giving up. Now, I'm not saying that if you do decide to pause or to desist, that it's not something that you do or don't do, right? If that is what you choose to do, it's your decision. It's entirely up to you, right? And if you do decide whether you decide to continue, to pause, to desist, a goal, whatever it is that you're doing, that you honor your decision. Okay. And so I want you to think about being watchful of the words that you use on yourself, such as, I should have done better. Maybe, should I have continued? I should have done this. I should have done that. Or maybe, why didn't I do this? Why did I do that? Right? So personally, for example, I try to watch the mental words that I tell myself. So that for the most part, I am in support of myself because I want to support me. Okay. Okay. So next time you note that you're shooting yourself, right? You're telling yourself what you did that you shouldn't have done, or what you didn't do that you should have. Stop, take a moment, rethink how you want to support yourself and the mental language that you want to use, right? Because if the reality is that you decide that you want to pause, that you want to stop moving forward on a plan, on a goal, again, you want to honor that decision if that's what you so choose. You also want to honor the decision of moving forward. If that is what you choose, you want to honor your intention, your decision. And so the mental language is powerful, is very supportive. If you choose to tell yourself, this is too hard, I don't understand this, I should have done, X, Y, Z. That's not supportive language. Instead, I recommend finding different words. Say, for example, instead of saying, I don't understand or I don't know, maybe we can choose something like, I can figure this out. I don't know it yet, but I can figure this out. Or, how can I figure this out? Right? So at least giving your brain the opportunity to help you search, the steps, ideas, what to do next. And again, this is supporting yourself and keeping with creating the awareness, especially of the mental language. Okay, so I hope this resonates with you. I hope this gives you an opportunity to reflect on, what am I thinking? What's going on? What am I telling myself? If you ask yourself those questions, what am I thinking? What am I telling myself? How am I supporting myself in any endeavor? And you decide, okay, maybe these words are not helpful to me. Telling yourself that you're confused might only keep you confused. If you're telling yourself that you don't know how to do something, you're not going to allow yourself to find a way to do it. Okay, so I hope this gives you an opportunity to think how you want to talk to yourself. Okay, thank you for listening.